Hi, everybody. Uh, yeah, it is Thursday, the 1st of February, 2024, and we all know tomorrow is Groundhog Day. So, what is it? Puxatawny Phil, and I think every zoo across the nation has a groundhog, so they're going to be doing some crazy stuff. A lot of stuff on the news, and yeah, up in, I guess it's in Woodstock, Illinois, they're having a reunion of everybody who worked on the film Groundhog Day. So, um, yeah, it's kind of a American national pastime. So, the legalities. Hey, remember, I'm a clairvoyant, clairaudient, psychic, so everything is for entertainment purposes. The full disclaimers down in the box, along with the tip jar. Buy me a coffee, email if you want a private reading, and all that crazy nonsense. Now, it's I hate saying broken record time, but here we go again. But with all the nonsense that's going on in the Middle East, um, started by the evil empire. Well, now it's so stupid because in certain cities worldwide, they're having these goofy little amendments, referendums in each city, country, nationwide, worldwide, saying, oh, ceasefire in between Israel and Hamas. And I'm like, dudes, Hamas, the evil empire of Iran, doesn't give two shits about what's passed in the Chicago City Council. It's like, dudes, not gonna, it doesn't mean anything. It's a waste of time. It fills the hours that that these guys have to be in the chambers, the city government. It's a waste of time because we're being invaded. It's crazy, and people are now slowly standing up and fighting for themselves. I mean, all over Europe right now. Okay, the European Union cut off the subsidies to the farmers, and the farmers are making their displeasure known. I mean, they're shutting down major cities. I mean, Paris is a mess. You've got Germany, they're locking down stuff, Berlin, and it's spreading. It's all over. It is spreading these in France, Germany, Spain's now on the bandwagon. Italy is doing what it can. And because the European Union, which is basically gets their marching orders from the Davos dudes, they're trying to force the world into submission via starvation. And that's what's going on right now. So we've got to stand up and make our voices known to all these idiots. I mean, it's all over the news, and I hope it's all over the European news, hopefully, is that Ilhan Omar, that dingbat dunce who represents Minneapolis in Congress, she's openly admitting her first loyalty is to the country of Somalia, not the United States. She's pro-Muslim Somalia. That is her agenda. And now the other idiots like Rashid Tlaib and Cori Bush, they're actually publicly announcing that their loyalties lie with the evil empire of Tehran. Yeah, it's the evil empire is basically the puppet. Now, a lot of nonsense is it's kind of crazy. I mean, now many of you have seen that it's like the tag team videos with me and Mystical Fortunes. Well, this morning I was lucky enough that I had the perfect time. I was actually able to watch Craig Hamilton Parker's coffee chat. And it's the one where it's like, it says, when will World War III begin? Well, duh. Yeah, I was typing in my tag team while he was talking, and I was getting further information, so I was typing it into the chat. And I did send him an email. Let's see if he responds back. But while he was on, I did get a chunk of info, a chunk of intel. And part of it is, yeah, it's like they're asking, when is it going to begin? Some people are saying, oh, it happened in October 2023. No. It kicked off when Fauci's virus was let loose. Because the little frickin' wop, he's part of the Davos group. So it's Davos and the evil empire Islamic Republic that's being run out of Tehran. They're hand in glove, those two groups. The European Union is just the enforcement arm of this group, this coalition between these evil people. EU enforces the mandates in Europe, and here in the States, we've got the Democratic Party to shove their mandates down our throats. Initially, the seeds of it were planted back in 1979 when Jimmy Carter's three-letter agencies allowed the Ayatollah Khomeini to take control of Iran. That's when the seeds of WW2 kicked off. And it was brought initially, the first major action for world domination was that stupid faux flu that made everybody stay at home for like 2.5 years. That was to check who was actually compliant. Yeah. That was a measure, that was an exercise in seeing who would follow the rules correctly. Well, I'm not one of them. I saw and I heard what was going down in Iran in 79. So, I know a little bit more than the average person. So it's initiated in 79 with the Carter administration. And now it's 2020. That's when the major stuff started happening to make sure to find who was complacent and who they would have to go after to force complacency on. And then full-fledged in everybody's faces when the evil empire decided to attack that music festival taking place in Israel. Look at the guys who go to the Davos meeting. They're all anti-Semitics. So that's who attends, that's who's in charge. Then so of course they're going to align themselves with the evil empire. And people don't realize that they're being funded through the banks located in the Arab Emirates. So people who have, oh, I'm going to go to Dubai or Abu Dhabi, I go, keep your ass out of there. Do not travel to any country that is Shiite. Don't go there. Be very careful with traveling right now. Don't do stupid things. We know some people are saying, oh, they're anti-Russia, but Russia is the good guy. Vlad sees what's going on. Yeah, because of the stupid stuff going on with the Z guy in Ukraine, it would have been settled if the Z guy would allow those portions of Ukraine to go back to being parts of Russia. The only reason why they're labeled Ukraine is because how they drew the lines in basically 1945. Just let that area, it was Russia for centuries. But we know that the, how do I say it? The Democrats, the FDR Democrats, basically were continuing Adolf's theories. Yeah, they were. Yes, they are. The Democrats have always been extremely anti-Semitic. Go back and look, people. The Democrats started the KKK. Democrats, they play nice to your face while they're stabbing you in the back. And for years, they've had a certain American demographic fooled that they were the friends, that they were the good people. But it's taken the invasion by the evil empire, and if you look around, the majority of the countries all have a Muslim in charge. Right now, we've got Barry Soetoro. He was raised in Indonesia, Muslim country. He's running the show here, folks. He and his little... That's why Cami Poop is pushed off to the side, because according to the Quran and Muhammad, women are nothing but chattel. So, yeah, they have Cami Poo as VP, but she doesn't do anything. That's why they kind of made sure that Hilly was breaking away from the control. That's why they made sure it went to Donald, because the evil empire is extremely misogynistic. And that's why they pushed, what was it, Theresa May and Liz Truss out of power in the UK. They don't like the fact that Giorgia Meloni is running Italy. But Italy, you got to remember, is primarily Catholic, and they don't like the extremists, the Islamic extremists. You've got, and that's why they made sure that Marie Le Pen didn't get to be president of France. They got their little puppet, Macron, in. Yeah, he's a puppet of Davos. He's a puppet of Tehran, like so many of the others. But we've got to wake up and stay strong. It's, while listening to Craig Hamilton Parker, I mean, he was raised under the UK socialism. So he hasn't really experienced complete Western freedom like I have. But he's awake, and he sees things that are happening. And he realizes, yeah, it's begun, but when it's going to end, I say when we've got the three musketeers totally in office, Donald, Vlad, and Javier. Those three will bind together to quash this stuff. And they're stating now they're going to bring back national service for the UK. Well, that's basically bringing back the draft. And because of the bullshit that Clinton and Barry did to our military to protect ourselves, if Donald says so, there will be people being re-enlisted, because we're going to need all hands on deck everywhere. And the EU is going to be like, yeah, they're trying to shut down Europe. They're trying to shut down the farmers. They want to starve Europe out in order to make them complacent again. It's not going to happen. People are remembering. They're pulling out the old history books and looking at what happened during the 1930s, 90 odd years ago. Yeah, it's you have to realize that Russia is our friend. China basically is going bankrupt. All their little property management schemes are falling apart. And the only thing they have left is their little communist army. But even the Chinese, the normal everyday Chinaman and Chinese woman, the general population know that the communist government is on its last legs. And they're going to go down kicking and screaming. But Taiwan and their government will end up back in control. And it will benefit everybody. Yeah, we got the little wackadoodle in North Korea. But he's watching and he likes to play his video games. Well, now his video games, the scenario has changed for him. And he's realizing that once China flips, he's out of office. So he will probably try to do some alignment with Tehran. After all, it was in a Muslim country that turned a blind eye to the assassination of his brother. Yeah. If his brother was in any country that was not a Muslim-based country, his brother would probably still be walking around. But they had to wait till he got into a Muslim-based country. The North Korea bozo right now is having behind-the-scenes talks with Tehran. So it's going to be... But that little dude, he likes his video games, and if there's going to be any mushroom clouds, he's going to be the one who starts it off. But he's being told to stay in line right now. He's getting a lot of heat from a lot of places. But we have to realize that people are asking, how can Iran be funding all these Hamas, Hezbollah, ISIS, Taliban? The money comes out of the Emirates. The money is basically coming from the Democratic National Party here in the United States. Folks, if you're a union member, go find the initial paperwork that you signed in order when you were required to join whatever trade union. In super fine print on the back side of one of those pages, it states that a portion of every single dollar that you pay in union dues is actually going to a political fund to be used at the discretion of the political party that the union supports. So every union member nationwide in the United States, you're the ones that are funding Iran. You're actually funding Hamas. Look and read, people. If all of a sudden there was a mass revolt about unions, their cash flow would be shut down. People are upset because, yeah, Iran is firing now into Jordan. Well, they made a big mistake by doing that. Because Jordan, hey, we saw Catherine and William at the wedding. A lot of the monarchs and royal families, even those from the deposed monarchies, were in attendance. So you will see that once all of this nonsense is eliminated, you will have the deposed monarchs back on their thrones. Yes, Habsburgs will probably be back watching over a good section of Eastern Europe. There will be a Kaiser over Germany again. And we've got the Scandinavian monarchs. We've got Victoria, we now have Frederick. They may even resurrect the old Polish monarchy. And then we might even see a Bourbon or Orléans run in France. And what was it? Emmanuel something the other was run in Italy? Once all this nonsense is settled down, we're going to start seeing a lot of absolute monarchies. That's where it's going down towards. And once that's back into place, the world will be a better place. And with the nonsense that they're pulling, no more subsidies, the EU on the farmers, yeah, they're doing that because they know that all fuel oil basically comes through the Suez Canal, and they've shut the EU and the Davos and Tehran have shut down all freighters going through the Suez Canal. So oil tankers have to go all the way down around the continent of Africa. If they smarten up, they'll tell the Z guy, give Russia back its area, its landmass that was mistakenly given to Ukraine in 45. Play nice. That way they can utilize the pipelines coming from the Russian oil fields. But right now, the EU is not going to be getting any oil, and the only countries that may be getting oil from Russia, it's the UK, because they're out of the EU. Now that the supply chain issues for Europe are cluster mess, because they allowed the Suez to get basically shut down. The next thing they're going to do is, because of all these stupid, because they're having all of the invading army come through Central America, they're going to shut down the Panama Canal. So, which means a lot of shipping is going to go really bad. Thank goodness the United States still has a good infrastructure with the railroads. But you're going to see a lot more happen on the major rail lines going across the continent. And even you're going to see just no brain Trudeau up north. He's going to start scrambling. But there are too many woke idiots who will keep him on his position as the prime minister. He'll be Belushi'd. Do your homework, look up how John Belushi died. That they're going to have to, so somebody passing over by the same means basically means Belushi'd. And I'm getting the hunch that that's how they're going to get rid of Trudeau. He'll be Belushi'd. And once that happens, then don't be surprised if William and Charles decide to appoint a new Governor General who will actually rule the roost in Canada. They will also, because of the crap that's going down in Australia right now and the alleged sovereignty to the Big Red Sea that Australia is in, once you're going to see somebody new appointed Governor General of Australia also. They're going to put their foot down on the necks of the ickies running those members of the Commonwealth. Yes, the UK monarchs do know what has happened, and they don't like it. Why do you think William goes and checks out the homeless encampments and goes incognito and works at the soup kitchens? Because he goes in, nobody recognizes him. He puts on a baseball hat, a jersey of some sort, and he's hearing what's actually happening with the people. So he's gaining knowledge firsthand. And he will. He lets his dad know what's going on. So when they're able to grab back power, they're going to get rid of all the little Muslims running the country, running the councils, and they're going to force Parliament to expel the bad Muslims. It's going to happen because something bad is going to happen to one of the members, an extended low-level member of the British royal family. Something's going to happen that's going to wake up their eyes. Charles and William are then going to get on the Parliament's butt and say, no more of this letting these idiots stay, kick them out. Send them back to their country of origin. But unfortunately, somebody will have to have a horrible experience for that to happen. Here in the States, everyone, we need to step up and be assistants, offer our time for the big job interview for November. But yeah, if you so that's my little rant for today. We got to watch what's happening. Panama Canal is next to get shut down. What's happening in Texas is gaining support nationwide. Barry Soetoro is pooping his pants. And as for Nikki Haley, she's an idiot. We need our three musketeers in power. Donald, Vlad, and Javier. And by this time next year, we will have our three musketeers in charge. Whether on paper, but they will be in charge. They may have to be running a secret world government to protect people. But they are, in reality, behind the scenes, those three guys are in charge and are in communication. We just have to continue to wake up the rest of the fools. So, so yeah, that's today. And Saturday, yes, Saturday the 3rd, I'll be going live at 1 p.m. Central Standard Time, 7 p.m. Greenwich Mean Time, 7 p.m. London, 1 o'clock, 1 p.m. Chicago time. So I hope to see everybody on Saturday. Let everybody know, let your friends know. So everyone have a great evening, and I'll be talking with you all on Saturday afternoon. Bye-bye.